Dan Bilzerian is referred by many as the king of Instagram for showing us his lavish, extravagant, offensive, and somewhat ballsy lifestyle. Dan has happily described himself as an asshole in the past and seems to revel in the impact his pictures and claims have on social media audience. Bilzerian is not one to shy away from the public when it comes to talking about himself, but it's quite rare for him to talk about poker despite the fact he claims to have won tens of millions of dollars from the game. Poker was taught to Dan by his brother Adam Bilzerian after he left the military. He holds himself in very high regard in the poker industry and said that the poker world should not forget the quote-unquote Bill Gates of poker. He went on to add that the poker community should credit him with being one of the biggest winners of all time and improving the strategy of the game. There are many rumors about how Dan Bilzerian got his apparent wealth, including him having a substantial trust fund. Bilzerian revealed that the trust fund story is not true, but he allowed the rumors to continue circling as it helped him get into massive cash games. He said that he wanted to be known as the rich idiot. There are a few crazy claims made by Dan Bilzerian about his poker skills, some of which are: Number 1, he said he pioneered the lag style of play. Dan Bilzerian claimed that when he first started playing poker in the super high-stakes private cash games, he was one of the first players to adopt a loose aggressive style of play. He said it was good for him for multiple reasons because he played more hands, so he got more action. It allowed him to get into more pots with bad players and have more chance to exploit them and have more chances to get paid off on big hands and be less predictable. This is one of the few claims made by Dan Bilzerian that we can dismiss as nonsense without a doubt, because many players were playing this way well before Dan Bilzerian, including Stu Unger back in the 1980s. If what he's really trying to say is that he pioneered the style of betting every street regardless of his own cards, the board, or his opponent's range, then well, it is true. Bilzerian proved this much when playing online during a session which was streamed live on Twitch. The second claim he made is that he beat a guy for $54 million. This loose aggressive style of play brought him instant success, because his second huge claim is that he beat one opponent for $54 million in a single game during 2015, something he describes as his Scarface moment, referring to the 1983 movie Scarface, when Tony Montana finds himself with so much money that he does not know what to do with it. With nobody looking likely to step forward and admit that they were beaten by the player in question, we only have Dan Bilzerian's word for it, but it is known that he plays high-stakes cash games with some very wealthy people. The third claim he made is that he won $12.8 million in 3 sessions playing poker. In an interview for In Depth with Graham Bensinger, Bilzerian went into details about a poker game he played against a mystery billionaire. During this interview, he spoke of a heads-up game where his opponent would move all in for about 10 times the size of the pot on rivers, and that Bilzerian's stack was always considered to be automatically covered whenever he was facing an all-in because his opponent was always good for it, no matter the amount. He said that the game had been played over 3 sessions with players taking breaks in between, and at one point, he had about $18 million on the table. The fact that Bilzerian won't name anyone he plays with means that it is impossible to verify these stories, but they are certainly not beyond the realms of possibility given the stakes he plays. He also spoke about how his opponent would verbally bet in objects like plane or a car. He also told at some point that the billionaire decided to play him without looking at his whole cards for about an hour, so it could be safely assumed that the mystery billionaire was a maniac who did not care about the money, and so in theory, it would be a pretty easy game, but the fact that Dan Bilzerian could lose all the money in a cooler all-in kept him at the edge of his seat. The idea seemed to remind Dan about the real money value of the bets he was facing. During the same game, Bilzerian said he flipped a quarter for $6 million and lost. Several poker pros, most notably Doug Polk, have come out and said that Bilzerian is not a talented poker player. Video evidence is in fact out there which suggests that he is not even a moderately skilled player by any stretch of the imagination. But those were in fact small stakes games compared to the $1 million high stake games that he usually plays, so maybe he just did not care about the money at that point. Bilzerian said that he did not try to be a grinder. For him, it was getting into games with celebrities, producers, and hedge fund managers. He didn't want to be associated with poker players. He did not want to hang out with them and also not be seen with them. He said that it was helpful when pros criticized his game, and he told Card Player in 2016 that he lost a few $1 million playing poker that year. Of course, there is almost nobody in the poker community that believes Bilzerian's version of events. Most seem to stick to the original story that circulated about his dad being a corporate raider that overstepped the mark and ended up in prison. What do you guys think? Did Dan win his money in poker? Let us know in the comments below. This video is powered by Bluff the Spot, the best place to learn how to win at poker from actual high-stake coaches like MMA Sherdog. Check the link in the description. And if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.